Architecture reflects and creates trends, with styles like Art Deco and Frank Lloyd Wright's Prairie style challenging traditional ornamentation. It can also serve as a political statement and provoke debate, as seen in the distinct designs of the buildings in this collection. Capela dos Ossos, Évora, Portugal, 1500s. In Évora, Portugal, the Capela dos Ossos showcases human bones artistically arranged by Franciscan monks in the 1500s. Amid a real estate crisis, around 5,000 bodies were integrated into the chapel's walls, including 2 partially mummified remains. The monks intended to provoke reflections on mortality as indicated by the message, "We bones that are here, await yours." The Pineapple, Dunmore, Scotland, 1777. John Murray, the 4th Earl of Dunmore, was governor of Virginia in the early 1770s. In November 1775, he issued Dunmore's proclamation, granting freedom to enslaved individuals for military service, which led to heightened tensions with colonists. After failing to recruit enough troops, he returned to Scotland and marked his arrival with a giant pineapple on his home's tower. Hameau de la Reine, Marie Antoinette's Little Village at Versailles, 1783. Marie Antoinette commissioned Richard Michauet to create a faux village at Versailles for relaxation and entertaining friends. The village included various styles of rural French architecture, a working farm with a dairy, gardens, and a barn. After the French Revolution, it fell into disrepair, but restorations occurred in the 1930s and 2006. Sedlec Ossuary / the Bone Church, 1870. The Sedlec Monastery Cemetery in the Czech Republic, once a sought-after burial site, ran out of space by the 1870s. Woodcarver František Rint managed around 40,000 skeletal remains by creating a chapel with hand-bleached bones, crafting candelabras and chalices. This unique decoration preserves the remains on sacred land while providing a space for peaceful reflection. Ideal Palace, Palais Ideal du Facteur, Cheval, France, 1879–1909. The legend of Ideal Palace began in 1879 when French postman Ferdinand Cheval tripped over an intriguing rock, inspiring him to create a whimsical palace. Despite having no architectural training and facing ridicule from neighbors, he taught himself and gathered stones for the project. Once completed, his palace attracted tourists, silencing critics. Cheval noted that it felt like being transported into a fantastic dream beyond imagination. Lucy the Elephant, Atlantic City, New Jersey, USA, 1881. Lucy the Elephant, designed by James V. Lafferty Jr., was built to attract visitors to South Atlantic City. Standing 65 feet tall, she featured a 130-step observatory. In 1902, she became a summer home for a doctor from England, who converted her interior. Over time, Lucy served various roles including a tourist attraction and tavern. Despite damage and threats of demolition, she was donated to the city of Margate and relocated to a beachfront site. Winchester Mystery House, San Jose, California, USA, 1884–1922. Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester repeating rifle fortune, moved to San Jose and expanded her 8-room farmhouse into a 160-room mansion filled with oddities. Believing she was haunted by the spirits of those killed by her family's guns, she continued building to appease them. After her death in 1923, the house opened for tours and has since attracted over 12 million visitors. Corn Palace, Mitchell, South Dakota, USA, 1892–1921. Each year, around 500,000 tourists stop in Mitchell, South Dakota, to visit the Mitchell Corn Palace, the only building of its kind. Built in 1921, it serves as the community's landmark, featuring onion domes and stunning murals made from naturally colored corn. The murals are redesigned annually by students at Dakota Wesleyan University's Digital Media and Design program. Casa Mila, aka La Pedrera, Barcelona, 1906–1912. Pere Mila hired Antoni Gaudí to design Casa Mila, known as La Pedrera, breaking away from traditional architecture with its curves and unconventional design. The building faced mockery and controversy, clashing with city building codes. Despite this, Casa Mila, Gaudí's last residential work, is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and remains in use as a residential and office space. Witch's House, Beverly Hills, 1921. The Spadina House, or Witch's House, is a fairy tale-like building in Beverly Hills, originally built in 1921 for Willat Studios and converted into a family home in 1934. Its whimsical style, typical of the 1920s and 1930s, features exaggerated roof lines and medieval influences. In the 1990s, when a potential buyer planned to demolish it, real estate agent Michael Libo bought the property to preserve it. Ennis House, Los Angeles, California, USA, 1924. By the 1920s, Frank Lloyd Wright began incorporating ancient cultural influences into his work, notably in the Ennis House, built in 1924 for Charles and Mabel Ennis. This structure exemplifies Mayan revival architecture, using molded concrete to reflect Mayan patterns. Located in Los Feliz, Los Angeles, the house sold for $18 million in 2019, driven by its prime location, association with Wright, and popularity as a filming site. Kunsthaus, Graz, 2003. The Kunsthaus, or Friendly Alien, in Graz disrupts the city's traditional architecture with its modern design by Peter Cook and Colin Fournier. This blue acrylic panel museum exemplifies blobitecture, featuring random curves and rounded forms without corners, made possible by advances in computer-aided drafting (CAD). Its unique shape resembles a creature without a defined form, successfully provoking attention and controversy. Flintstone's House, Malibu, California, 1976. William Nicholson's three-story home, resembling a Flintstone's house, uses a unique monolithic dome construction instead of traditional balloon framing. A wire mesh frame with steel rebar is built over inflated balloons, which are later deflated after being sprayed with gunite concrete. This results in a sturdy, bulbous structure with rounded walls. Despite neighbor disapproval and cracking issues from water runoff, it continues to function as a private single-family home.